The Creed of the Talwar, Faizan Ahmed. The room was small, my fear contained only by its ceiling. The heat was unbearable, but at least it let me know I was in the right place. I hid under my armor, gripping my Talwar close. I carved the curved steel wildly through the air. "Where are you?" I yelled, feeling my fear echo off the walls. The jinn jerked my first Talwar from my reach. I hastily unsheathed my second sword, trying to catch the smokeless blue sparks it left behind. Again, I felt its heat, but still no sight of this jinn. I unveiled the last of my blades, engraved with our creed: unity, faith, discipline. The words conjured focus, deep breaths. I conquered the fear. I caught its throat. My horse's sprightly gait kept me awake during the long journey back. Murad and Rawaz expected a report, so sleep would have to wait. Approaching our fort's gates, I let my worries disappear. I loved our creed, and the guards greeted me with that same passion. We were all a family fighting for our independence, not an army killing for some pointless war. Each time I stepped inside the Hadi fort, I was welcomed with warmth from my people, Metalog. That is why it pained me to see the hardened hearts of my superiors. Murad, our leader, bears a soldier's mind. Perhaps that is our only mutual quality. It is Rawaz I don't trust. The mere sight of the man scorches my bones. He has shown none of the grace our creed has taught us, carrying out his own vendettas and hiding these details from his reports in the past. Murad has no idea and trusts him completely. I entered the masjid, seeing my advisors up ahead concluding their prayers. The aqua carpets were an horizon in the mosque, the candle chandelier and a sun setting beautifully over us. The domed ceiling, coated in a truly mesmerizing deep blue, glistened in my eyes like a child. Rawaz noticed me and guarded himself cross-armed. Murad welcomed me as you would a reluctant guest. I paid my respects to both regardless, jolted from my wonder of the mosque by their curtness. "Ustaz, I have slain the jinn troubling the nearby villages." Rawaz scoffed in disbelief. "You call him a mentor, Ahmed? But what have you ever learned?" "No one has ever seen one," the dog remarked. "Murad, let me handle this one." With a calming gesture, Ustaz Murad stopped the tyrant in his tracks. Yet his face showed even he didn't believe me. "Ustaz, I'm not lying to you. I cornered the jinn and cut him open. There was blood, blue blood, everywhere." Rawaz threw a puzzled gesture as if saying, "Where?" I pulled out one of my Talwars to show the blue blood stains as proof. As if in mockery, the blade was clean with no trace. The vulture cackled incessantly. Ustaz Murad held my shoulder. "If you really did kill this jinn, you could have at least collected some of its blood as proof. Our scientists could have studied it." Ustaz's soft tones did little to hide my confusion. Each blade was covered. How could it disappear? As he talked, the jinn's flaming blue corpse burned in my mind with discomfort. A harrowing tempest of blue. Rawaz, sensing my horror, sparked at the opportunity. "You see, the jinn cannot be killed by the way you described. They are invisible, Ahmed. They are masters of distraction and never let themselves get trapped. Believe me, They leave no trace on anything they touch. Either you got really lucky, or it didn't happen. Murad turned to him briefly, confused at what he knew. I felt ill from their mockery. I could not bear looking at them. The sun had closed off its warmth, and I felt defeat as bitter as an unwavering cold over my body. I felt helpless, despite having slain the damn thing. I could not shake it, nor wipe the stain from my honor. Night came, and my thoughts still invaded me. I should have been calmer in our place of worship, but Rawaz rattled me. How did Rawaz know so much about the jinn? You would think he was the one who killed it, not me. I hate it when I freeze in conversation. It's like a trap that I can't get out of. But how did he know the jinn like a brother? No one knew what they were, only that Allah created them as he did us. It's late, I thought. I can't sink into these thoughts forever. Sleep will help, inshallah. The sight of light startled me. At this hour? It came from Rawaz's hut. What could he be doing? I need answers, so I leapt out of bed and hid by his window. He was talking to himself, idiot. But it looked like he was in conversation, pausing to let someone speak. I watched his words. How could you let him strike you? You are holding your throat. He spoke a much harsher Urdu, so I struggled to piece the words together. One thing was certain. Someone else was in the room. Move silently. Let no man know of you. His words were eerie. Rawaz moved to the table, revealing a figure phasing in and out of the room. It was faint, but trickles of blue blood were being covered by a hand of stuttering aura. There was no doubt that jinn was with him. How did it survive? Finally, they left the hut. My chance to find out had arrived. I fit my arm through the window, squeezing the door open. I studied the scroll on the table, hardly believing how twisted its contents were. That jinn had been plotting with Rawaz this whole time. I knew Rawaz was not to be trusted, but this? Rawaz planned to possess Murad with the jinn. No wonder it didn't die. Rawaz had prepared him before I set off. I could not bear to think, no, I will stop this. Daylight. I marched to the council. I noticed a blue light emanate through Rawaz's scarf. No one else in the room knew to look for it, as my eyes had been trained by my experience with the jinn. Could it be that Rawaz and the jinn had merged? I approached the throne. Ustaz, I can show you why I had no proof of the jinn. Unlatching the scrolls, I showed Ustaz Murad its incantations to possess him. Rawaz knew of my mission to kill the jinn. Not only that, but he has been meeting with the jinn in secret. He warned it that I was coming, hence why he was able to survive our encounter. And the blood? Only Rawaz knew that they left no trace, unless they are wounded. Rawaz snapped to me, shocked. I unsheathed one of my swords, cutting the liar's scarf into the air. Everyone saw what he had been hiding, a blue gash on his neck. Look! When I killed the jinn, that blue blood was everywhere. The scrolls show that the jinn is going to possess you, Ustaz. Rawaz was speechless, his facade shattered. He barked, pleaded, and shouted violently as our soldiers overpowered him. The jinn had been cornered. The vulture finally caged.